What do you make of the season overall? How do you think you'll remember this team?
I'll have probably a better peace of mind as time wears on. I mean, right now you're always tired from the grind, but you also have some raw emotions still that you're trying to kind of hold down or keep underneath. But I mean, just trying to have some perspective on everything. I mean, great. It was a really solid year. Like, I mean, to deal with those. Can't speak enough about our leadership group, how they welcomed the new guys in, how impactful those new guys were, how Ryan Johnson and Pat, how they helped us get those guys in. And some really good building blocks for some of our younger players, whether they're here all year or just got here near the end. So, I guess, and you're always disappointed with a loss at the end of the year for sure.
No, you say you don't talk to your team after a game, but just talk to them yesterday.
Yeah, and I kind of echoed the same things, that I was proud of them. I was proud of their work ethic all the time. They've been a pleasure to coach, and what I said too, and I think I may have mentioned to you yesterday, is just they've been very coachable. They accepted coaching, and I thought it really helped their team. It helped us in times of transition and having different guys here, and we had a real good blueprint, I think. But you know what? There was a time here where we're running with those wins and finding points, and what was it, from December or end of November on? I mean, the guys kind of took the ball and they ran with it, and they did a really good job of executing, I guess, kind of a plan that the coaches had put in place, and they kind of took it from there.
What's the biggest thing that you want these players to take away from this season?
Just, what? I think we got them to get to playoffs, to get yourself to an elimination game. It's tough. Like, you're playing a team with a ton of playoff experience, and if you look at that group over there, so now it's not just you can't say you got to do this or that in those situations, but it's one of those things that now our guys are getting some of that experience, and that'll be good. Hopefully that'll be something that'll help us for next year.
You feel like you have a recipe for what you want to be successful?
Absolutely. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have been here. I mean, we've said this, and I think Ryan Johnson has said this. I mean, with the stuff that our group has gone through this year, that we could have had a 15-20 win season, and it probably would have been okay, I mean, or whatever. But the group, how they responded, how they took advantage of the opportunity. We talked about a little bit this morning with some of our meetings that. That's how we sold it all year. We spun it. We've talked about it in the media. It's opportunity. That's what we're pushing here, and we want guys. It's never about guys that weren't in the lineup. It was always about the guys that were. And I think the guys felt good about that, and I think that's what gave them hope. And there was a lot of games where probably on paper we should not have had any business either getting points or winning, and those guys, that group, found a way.
Is there a highlight for you as your first season as a head coach?
I'm not there yet. I'm Still kicking stones, so maybe in time, maybe in some more time, I'll be more positive on reflection, I guess.
You've been in the league a while, obviously last year too, the Calder Cup run. How long does it usually kind of take for you to stop kicking stones?
I still can't believe we didn't win the Calder Cup last year with that other team down the road, but so I guess I don't know. I'm not really sure how long it takes me to get over things, but it just in time, it's really. You just reflect, and for me, from now, like my job now is to how do we get us better? What can I improve upon as a coach? What can my staff improve upon? What can our organization improve upon? And those are the things that I'm going to take the time with over the next probably couple of weeks. While it's still a little bit, I guess, obviously raw, I keep referring to, or still that my head is still in it, that I can jot those things down and then try to make it better for us for next year.
Talked about your staff. Do you expect Gary and Jason back?
If they aren't moving on, I mean, we had a great job. I mean, poor Jason, he went through the ringer there with this power play, but it was extremely successful all year. I mean, I know it was really tough when we lost so much personnel there. But he was in the top 10 throughout the year, dipped a little bit at the end, that's it. And then Gary did a great job with the penalty kill, finished second overall. So I think those guys, I wanted those guys to have like their team, so to speak. I think it's great for not only just the players, but the coaching staff has to have ownership. And those guys took ownership of those situations. And we talk about them a lot as a staff, trying to help each other out for sure, but they did a really good job.
What were your thoughts about Game 5, the way the season ended last night?
We had chances to score earlier, first period and second period, and those are those situations that you want to find a way to capitalize on, and I think that's what we did a good job with in games 3 and 4.
What do you think were some of the biggest differences between playing here and the lack of results that you guys had in Toronto during the series?
Well, I guess we lost in overtime, so it wasn't complete. And then I thought in the second game up there, I mean, it's a 2-2 game at the start of the third period. We battled back, and then we had just sometimes some of those weak moments that we had with the non-experienced group. Casa, it's some of those small details that maybe they were a little bit better with and a little more experienced with, ends up coming out in the wash, I guess you'd say.
So Thatcher had set the Comets record for most wins all time and in the season. What did you make of his season altogether? Thatcher
had a great year. He's still growing and evolving as a young prospect goaltender, and I think he's doing really well, and I think he's ahead of the curve right now in his development process.
Tanner Pastor was a guy who came in, didn't really know much about him, but he seemed to play a very integral role, especially in the playoffs. What did you make of his progress?
Really good. A guy came in as a college free agent, kind of not a high-end prospect or not highly touted, and I thought he came in and he provided some real good hockey sense. He's a guy who can control the play, kind of slows it down, and I think this guy is going to be a guy who ends up collecting a paycheck for a career in playing hockey.
What do you make of just the overall young talent in this organization with Goldobin, Amadi, Yashikadan, all these guys seeming here?
It's exciting. It's exciting for me as a coach because that's kind of one of those things I refer to myself almost as like a teacher, a school teacher. I want to do well by our kids, and those are those things that I kind of measure myself with. But I mean, I think the future's bright, and I'm excited to coach a different young group. And like you say, there's some more higher end talent coming in next year, and I'm excited about it.
Last thing for me, Reed came back and seemed to just make an immediate impact. How impressed were you with how he was able to come back and get back in the group?
He's such a competitor. He's a competitive guy. He plays hard. He really he's one of those guys who helps push our team. And he came back and he did he kind of picked up exactly where he left off. We missed him while he was gone to Vancouver and through injury, but he came back and gave us that spark, and I think that really helped us in Game 3.
2 more minutes, guys.
How did you grow as a coach from beginning to end of the season in your first year as the boss?
I don't know. I get more time to reflect. I guess I'll have a better perspective. But I'm sure I've made mistakes. I know that for sure. And try to think about the things that I could do better. That's why I said I wanted for me, myself, staff, how we can run better, more efficiently, and then and also try to improve. I mean, that's why we're here. We want to get better. We're no different than the players. We want to develop and evolve as well.
I know Adam Connery told me back in, I think it was February, he thought you should be coach of the year. I think it might have been Cyphers, might have been Demko. I know they've all praised you today. I guess for you, what does that mean?
I was like the other 30 guys. I tied for second, so I
mean, in terms of you've got guys praising you for the job you've done this year in your first year. It's got to be special anyway.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm happy that we can have a good relationship in our room. Really, it's like you parent for 8 months. So what you do, except it's a fast track parenting. So what you try to do is you try to lay the groundwork immediately from day one and you start moving along. You try to empower your group, and you try to make them take ownership in what you're trying to convey to them. And I thought the group, that's where I give them a huge amount of kudos, because those guys did a great job, and I think that's we're really, and you look at a group where we probably shouldn't be here right now. We maybe should not have taken the best team in the league to the 5th game either. It's not the result we wanted, but you know what? They deserve so much credit for all that happened, and I appreciate that they appreciated what the staff did, because I think that I know one thing: the staff worked really hard this year. We didn't take days off. We didn't take too much time away, and we worked really hard. And we put a lot of our heart, sweat into this for sure.
One more. Yep. Just on a solely personal level, how exciting was this experience for you? You know, to be a head coach first year in the AHL. What did you kind of take away from that?
It was really good. You know what? The best part was probably the last 2 games at home. It was just such a great atmosphere. I tried to take a moment after the first period, after the first game here at home, game 3, and just kind of suck it up, because the crowd was really loud, boisterous, and it was great. It was really, so those are we tried to enjoy the moments that we had. I was excited about our team going into an elimination game. It's one of those defining moments in your career, or in you as a player or as a coach, and you're always hoping to win those. Those are the gut checks things, but that's why you're here. That's what you dream about as a kid, as whatever you want to be in those moments. So overall, it was a really good year.